Do I even know this woman? Is it her face I see when I close my eyes? Or only a mask that she's wearing? Always there, looking back at me. I think she's a keeper.
We're going to devote our energies to sports and gardening, all the cultural pursuits as far as they're concerned. In fact, we're going to put the goons to sleep. Meanwhile, we dig.
Here we go again.
Yeah, I just got back from, I think, one of the weirdest movies of the year, and that is saying something for this year for horror. It is a film by Osgood Perkins. Oz Perkins, his second film of the year, called Keeper. It just came out this week here. I think it just came out in the States, too. The poster is terrible for it. There's just simply no way to glean from the poster what it's about. And if they could show you what it's about, people will be going, oh my goodness, what is this about? And Osgood Perkins has been making quite an interesting name for himself lately. And he has been, he is the son of Tony Perkins, Anthony Perkins, who played in Psycho. And his father was, shall we say, extremely bisexual. Was very conflicted always about who he was. And I think that this really shows up in his son's film. There is another member of the family, Elvis Perkins, who about 10 years or more back, 15 years back, came out with a great album that had music which was kind of a folky reminiscence of Neutral Milk Hotel. But this film was quite something. And I must confess, I didn't have any idea what to expect going into it. Now, a few years back, he did one, The Black Coat's Daughter, and many of his films, in fact, I can't think of one that doesn't have this really kind of dark gray mood to it, a bit like very autumnal movies he makes. And strange. Black Coat's Daughter ended up being a kind of, innocent girl ends up being a Satanist. But at the same time, having said that, you'd go watch the film and you wouldn't get it until the end. And he makes these weird films. Are they postmodern or modern or something else? I think there's something else. Because he can hit an irony beyond postmodern irony. Beyond postmodern irony, you have basically kind of a extreme bitter irony, a really dark irony, and he hit that in extremes in this film. But his big film that people paid attention to last year was Longlegs, which had an unbelievably bizarre and creepy performance. Creepy in the make your flesh crawl sense of the word, not in the current contemporary usage sense of the word. Acting job by Nicolas Cage. But that was in my top 5 last year. This film is definitely going to be in my top 10. He put out 2 films this year. And the other one was called The Monkey, which was based on a Stephen King story. And it had to do with a toy monkey which kind of plays the drums. You'll notice I'm moving my hand a bit. And we will be coming to my explanation of some of my trials towards the end of this. But I'm starting off right now with this movie review because I haven't talked to you for a while, and I'm going to put this eventually over on the Anadrome, cut this part off, and put the update that I'm going to give you here as kind of a secret update that will very soon become secret again and just be on my Patreon page. So we'll talk about that more later. Anyway, so the interesting thing is, in both Longlegs and in The Monkey, he's hitting on exactly the kind of themes that I've been seeing more and more, and that is to say, themes of animation, dolls, robots, puppets, things like that. And Longlegs could be a man who wants to become a doll, lives a life cursing dolls on other people. Very strange kind of film. But this film, The Monkey, was pretty good. It's also fairly high up there. I don't know if it'll survive and make it to my top 10, but it's pretty good, and I have it sitting on my shelves back here, and this film will be too. This film, though, was strange because it starts off, reminded me of mood like this other film that came out this year called Bring Her Back. Both were set in houses in the country, nice houses. There was another film that came out a couple years back with a great acting job by Rebecca Hall called The Night House. And by the way, if you see Rebecca Hall in a horror film, just go see her. If you see her in any film, she is one of the best actresses around, and no one seems to note her. She's never been nominated for anything. This is one of the weird things about horror films, is that you get some absolutely stunning acting jobs that go on there. And because they're in horror films, there's a kind of a haughtiness about the Academy, or not knowing what to do with these strange performances. But anyway, this one had an excellent performance, and I'm forgetting the woman's name offhand.
Let's go back. Can we do that? Can we just do that? When we didn't know. We didn't know any of this.
Starts off like it's going to be a slasher film. Guy, it's called Keeper, so you're thinking maybe guy who keeps women locked up in the basement somewhere, one of these extra rooms. There have been quite a few of those human beings, unfortunately, that have showed up in culture in the last 20, 30 years. But no, it veers off. I mean, it veers off the map. All maps. And I love stuff like that. I can't say anything about it without giving it away, except to say this. Hands down, the most incredibly bizarre, mythological, frightening faces I've ever seen, and particularly one of them. I won't describe it at all, except to say, wow. When I saw this one face, I said, okay, you've got my attention now. And the thing about going to movies right now is, and I'll get into talking about this in a moment when I talk about my health update, is that I fall asleep easily because I'm not getting enough sleep. And the problem is I have this lumbar problem that developed from sitting too much. And I can't sleep normally because of it. Meanwhile, it creates all sorts of problems. So I have to keep kind of reclined sitting to get any rest at all, which means I wake up at 4 a.m. and maybe I will, maybe I won't get back to bed. And it's a long story. We'll discuss it in a moment. But the thing is that to keep myself awake at the movies, I would bring a little tube of that green wasabi stuff. It's not really wasabi, but the imitation wasabi, and just like go, bah! But actually, I even missed a part of it today. I think I missed about 5-10 minutes of the movie. And I had something to drink and stuff. You can't really sleep while you're eating, but when this has been happening to almost every movie I watch, just because I'm not getting that straight 8 hours a day. And okay, coming back the next day to kind of wrap this up, I realized I didn't quite finish the movie review while I was doing my update. But who should see this film? Well, there are people who will go to this film, and it starts off very slowly, very moody, and some people are saying, it's really boring. Now, this as a criticism doesn't matter to me whatsoever, because we live in a time when people have no attention spans. Therefore, that criticism needs its own criticism in return, which is to say, develop one. And you can. It's like a muscle. I've sat through a 16-hour film. You can certainly sit through an hour-and-a-half film. And it moves slow. That's fine. Because where it builds to, eventually you don't think about that. But if you're one of those people who think horror films have to always be pulse pounding and chases and, loads of blood and hooks going through the eyeballs and all of that sort of stuff, well, one, you have a very narrow definition of horror starting somewhere in the late 1980s or whatever, and you need to expand your definition of horror. And two, this film delivers the goods near the end. So I love that. I love a film that has a director who has the patience and intelligence to trust the audience has patience and intelligence. And if you can't sit through it, I would ask about your intelligence. Seriously. So we're going to leave it there. I thought this film was amazing. It's going to make my top 10 somewhere for the year of horror films. And I would recommend it to those of you who want an experience that will really make you think, that is a slow build to unbelievably bizarre ending. This really is an intellectual film. So, there. And it's got lots of, as the kids say, feels. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. If you want to know more about my update on my health, it's on my Patreon page now, and you can check it out there. And you should join Patreon, and the link is below. And thank you for your support, and thank you for watching me. And I hope you find interesting movies that you can share with other people. More will be coming. So, from Tbilisi, Georgia, where I am slowly recovering, this is Burns saying droidi, which is the Georgian word for, we'll just be gone from each other for a little while. But we will get together again soon, won't we?
When I go, I want you to give me 5 minutes. I told you, boys, I'm no escape artist. For the first time, I like the odds.
At the round earth's imagined corners, blow your trumpets, angels, and arise, arise from death, you numberless infinities of souls.
Do I even know this man? Is it his face I see? When I close my eyes. Or only a mask that he's wearing. Always there. looking back at me. I think he's a keeper.